Let's do this. What's up, Steam Deck fans? Hello, people. Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mob, what's happening? Steam Deck Squad, what's up? And you Steam Deck nerds, geeks, and freaks, and you investigators. 32 gigs of RAM, huh? Alright. FSR replacer. Really? You modders are very funny. You can't replace FSR. See, ray tracing and DLSS, they're extinct. I'm sitting here messing around here. What's up with it? Alright, what I got for you guys? Listen to this. Got this nice little article here from WCCF Tech. It says here, FSR2 replacer with DLSS or XeSS is now the most popular mod for Starfield with over 200,000 downloads. FSR replacer? No. You can't replace FSR. But you can replace DLSS and XeSS and ray tracing. They're extinct. Sitting here messing around here. Let me stop playing. Look, says here, it's been just a few days since Starfield FSR2 replacer with DLSS or XeSS mod was released, and it's already the most downloaded at Nexus Mods. And it says, we know it that Starfield, being an AMD official partner title, officially comes with FSR2 support, but despite the modders such as Pure Dark were able to release the FSR2 replacer with DLSS or XeSS mod as soon as the game became available to owners on the premium edition in early access period. Modders. Anyway, it says here, now it's been at least 5 days since the release of the mod, and it has already raked in 230,000 total downloads and 150,000 unique downloads as of September 5th on Nexus Mod, and is also the highest rated mod for the game, yet only to be followed by Starfield Performance Optimization mod, which has around half the download at 125,000. The number of downloads for FSR Upscaler Replacer with DLSS or XeSS mod is also interesting, as it almost matches the peak player count of 250,000 that the game has currently amassed. That number alone is very impressive for a title that's still in early access. And we expect it to go higher when the game is officially available to all users tomorrow. And then it says it's likely that after the initial launch day, the number of downloads for the mod will go up even further as more users will try them out. Yeah, if they know what they're doing. Anyway, it says here, in our comparison, we saw that AMD FSR produced a slight shimmering effect in Starfield, but that was entirely eliminated when running DLSS or even XeSS. Intel XeSS and NVIDIA DLSS turned out to offer the best image quality, with XeSS even offering high, slightly better result as DLSS is shown. To dim out the lights in certain sections, though, that could just be the difference within AI training capabilities of both technology. Meanwhile, all upscaling technology offer a nice boost in performance, and there are even DLSS 3.5 and frame generation mods that are available for PC users. Says here, while Bethesda may have its reason for not implementing DLSS or XeSS and going with an FSR only upscaler in Starfield, PC gamers should show that they are very much interested in upscaling techs of other vendors and not just being limited to one upscaling technology. There are plenty of games that have come out with support of all three upscaling technologies in the past, and that should be the way forward, regardless of sponsorship or partners deal. With that said, the game is delight, and I am already 40 plus hours in, and there is no end to this expansive and story-rich title. I definitely recommend all RPG players, especially sci-fi followers, to try out Starfield as its one-of-a-kind experience. And it shows here which upscaling technologies are you using in Starfield if you are already playing the game. AMD FSR, NVIDIA DLSS mod, Intel XeSS mod. Okay, which one do you guys like? Well, look. I think, look, when it comes to Starfield and sponsorship, look, Starfield is a big game, and I guess the writing was on the wall. So AMD just saw an opportunity and went straight for it. Intel could have done the same thing. NVIDIA could have done the same thing. I guess they weren't thinking that AMD was going to do what they're going to do. They saw it and just went straight for it and didn't even look back. So sometimes it gets like that in the game industry, you know. Sometimes sometimes you might need like some uplifting, or what's that, energy, and sometimes you got to do that in the game industry just to get going, you know. I mean, Sony is notorious for doing that. If we're gonna talk, but you know, it was just an opportunity that AMD saw. Now, as far as modding goes, the modding community, they don't play by rules. Modding community don't care. They gonna mod something, and they already got mods already for Starfield. The NVIDIA way or the Intel way. So pick one. Modders, they do what they do. I mean, they already got a mod for the Steam Deck already. So yeah, with the Basite with that Basite operating system, and now you can go from 16 gigs of RAM to 32 on the Steam Deck with a mod. So yeah. But as far as like upscaling technologies go, sometimes you need to do that just to get going, you know. In the console gaming, look what Sony did. Kept Final Fantasy VII remake to themselves. Then they got Spider-Man, and then they thought they were doing something to keep themselves going. But then Microsoft is like, okay, all right, we gonna do better. They bought Bethesda, 7.5, and then they turn around now and drop what, 68.7 billion on Activision Blizzard. So sometimes you gotta do that in the game industry, just to get some uplifting, so to speak, or bring some traction in your camp, you know. So yeah, it gets like that in the game industry. So AMD using FSR, the main sponsor for Starfield. I understand what WCCF Tech is saying about all three vendors supposed to. What it says, there are plenty of games that have come out with support for all three upscaling technology in the past, and that should be the way forward, regardless of sponsorship or partner deals. Sometimes you need to like bring a little, you know, like energy, like some traction, you know. And I remember when Sony got the rights to Spider-Man. Imagine how Microsoft felt like, okay, they got Spider-Man now, so what are we gonna go from here? What are we gonna do? And they found ways to keep Xbox going. So sometimes in the video card market, you have to do that just to make your presence felt, to let people know that, you know, you're here for a reason, you know. So so yeah, it happens, you know. Intel might do the same thing, you know. There might be a big game coming one day, and Intel is the main sponsor of it, and that game supports only Intel graphics card. AMD and NVIDIA can't do anything because why? Intel had to do what they had to do to get going. It happens, man. So yeah. It's the game industry for you. All right. Is that 10 minutes? All right. What else I got for you? See if I got another article here. Starfield already has its first essential Steam Deck performance mod. Oh Lord, let's see what they're talking here. That's what they're talking about here. See if I can let me shut this down real quick. So I mean, it gets like that. It gets like that sometimes, you know, in the game industry. Sometimes you need an energy boost, or you need to assert yourself. You need to assert yourself in the game industry sometimes, and sometimes it gets like that. Sometimes you have to do that just to keep the industry moving. You know, it's not like Nvidia and Intel is being left out. It's just sometimes you have to do stuff to keep your company moving, you know. And then you have to challenge the competitors, like, okay, if AMD does this, okay, what is Nvidia going to do? Or what is Intel going to do? Are they going to sit there with their heads down like this, like this, or they're going to say, okay, you know what, we're going to keep moving forward? And that's how you got to approach it, you know. Can't walk around with your head down, because sometimes, competition is what drives the market. So you can't, in this competitive market, you can't walk around with your head down. All right, listen to this. Let me see if I can get through this. It says here, Starfield already has its first essential Steam Deck performance mod. Bethesda game modders known for being ahead of the game, but this Starfield mod is already looking to improve performance for Steam Deck users. It says the full Starfield release date hasn't arrived yet, but as you expect when it comes to one of the mod anticipated PC games of the year, this hasn't stopped fans from creating their own ways to improve the game, like with this new Starfield Steam Deck performance mod. It says, with a game as massive and complicated as Starfield, it's bound to demand a lot from your hardware. While some PC setups may manage fine with the Starfield system requirements, the Steam Deck isn't as equipped to allow for exploring over 1,000 sprawling Starfield planets spread across 100-star system. However, modder the hybrid wanted to help out Steam Deck users and low-powered devices. The new mod available on Nexus Mod aimed to improve performance stability and consistency. In order to achieve this, the mod compressed textures and file reduced texture size, lock in interactions with animations to 40 frames per second, and lower settings and not exposed in the standard menu. The mod biggest advantage, according to the Arthur notes, is that it's drastically reduce stutters and offer QoL's improvement. The mod creator recommend that you set up a Creo utility and set your video RAMs to 4 gig before installing this Steam Deck performance mod. We also recommend you pick up the best Steam Deck micro SD, as the size requirement for the mod are pretty high, which could demand a lot from your handheld, especially if you're supporting the 64 gig model with the Starfield size requirement sitting at 125 gigs. You will need all the extra space you can get. And it says, with the Starfield release date finally upon us, it's likely that this won't be the only Steam Deck mod available for the long, where Bethesda games consider the modding community is known for its myriads of creation, and I have no doubt that Starfield is going to be utilized to its fullest. You can download this mod right now if you want to see what else there is to try. Check out our guide to the best Starfield mods for launch. I will leave that link in the description box. And let's see here, what else we got? Anything else? And let's see here. See, it says here, our Starfield deck guide has all you need to know about how the RPG runs on the handheld. However, if you're planning on playing the game on your PC instead, our best Starfield setting guide will help you get optimal performance out of our next grand space game adventure. Alright, let me close this down here. Alright, so you got a mod for Starfield. And then you got a mod for the Steam Deck and Starfield. But then you also got another mod for the Steam Deck where you can increase the RAM to 32 gigs. So yeah, like I said before, you Steam Deck fans are always getting spoiled. Deals, games, and updates. Look at you, modding. Anyway, but it's a good thing though that Bethesda support the modding community. You know, and they didn't leave them out. You know, they didn't put like, oh, no modders cannot mod our games. They weren't like that. I think Bethesda liked the modding community, so that's why they did what they did. So you got a mod for the Steam Deck now. I mean, for Starfield on the Steam Deck. You need 4 gigs of video RAM. Okay. And then you add imagine adding the Basite, then add your Basite mod alongside that. That should improve things a whole lot on the Steam Deck. Just saying. You need 125 gigs. Oh, that's nothing. Subtract that from 1 terabyte. That is nothing. Subtract that from 2 terabyte SSD. That's nothing. 125 gigs. It's not a big deal, but this mod should help the Steam Deck and Starfield a lot. And I'm sure Intel, I'm sure now AMD, Valve, Bethesda, they got some updates coming for the Steam Deck. So I'll keep you guys posted on it, you know, and let you know what's going on. But Starfield is out what? Tomorrow. Yeah, get ready for it. Keep you guys posted on what's going on with the Steam Deck. Yeah. Alright, what else I got for you? See if I got something else here. See if I got anything else going on here. Okay. Oh, it's another article here on Game Developer talking about Steam supports PlayStation controller. They're talking about the DualSense. Says Steam will let devs highlight PlayStation controller support on store page. Well, I use my PlayStation 4 controller on the Steam Deck. I ain't got this thing turned on, but I use my PlayStation 4 controller to play a lot of games on the Steam Deck. So we've been doing this. But DualSense controller, oh yeah. See how much minutes I got here? 18. See if I can get through this. Says Steam will let devs highlight PlayStation controller support on store page. All developers have to do is answer some questions to highlight that their game can be played using a PlayStation 4 controller or PS5 controller. Yeah, I'll be using my PlayStation controller on my Steam Deck. Matter of fact, when I'm playing Batman, like my Batman Arkham Knight, or when I play Quake, or when I'm playing the other games on the Steam Deck, I use my PlayStation controller. Oh yeah, and it works. Yeah, says with an upcoming Steamworks update, developers can inform players if their game support PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 controller on both the Steam app and its desktop client. Store page can be edited to show if a game can be played with a DualShock or DualSense controller. And then it says, beginning in October, Valve will release what is called the first step forward, helping players find games that support the most commonly used PC video game controller. It's revealed that over 87 million Steam users have used a controller at least once since 2017, with 69% of that usage being for Xbox. With rising growth in PlayStation controller usage, 27% now compared to 11% in 2018, Valve is attempting to bump those numbers up. It's especially important given the rise of PS4 and PlayStation 5 games making their way to PC. Yes, Sony, we need Spider-Man 2 on the Steam Deck. Help us out here. Says here, though, through the question here, developers will be able to identify the range of controller support for their games through specific criteria. It's eventually be possible to show the range of support for a specific controller, such as full or partial functionality for Xbox or PlayStation. In the case of DualShock and DualSense, Valve noted that support for both isn't automatically assumed and pointed out both are different from one another. If you haven't done specific work to support them, then you are almost certain to do not have support for those controllers, it wrote. And it says, for developers who never supported PlayStation controllers for their games, Valve has released an overview of input support, which can be read here. Well, when I play Quake, I use my PlayStation 4 controller, or I play it off the Steam Deck. Just saying. I hadn't even tried it with an Xbox controller yet, but I will. An Xbox One controller or the 360. I haven't tried it yet, but I will. But the Steam Deck supports PlayStation 4 controllers, and when I tried Quake, when I was playing Quake on it, I was using a PS4 controller or the Steam Deck. Yeah, so and when I play Batman Arkham Knight, man, Batman Arkham Knight runs pretty good on the Steam Deck, so I use it, and I was using it for I used the PlayStation 4 controller for on the Steam Deck for Miles Morales. So yeah, PlayStation controllers work on the Steam Deck, so yeah. But this was a good move on Valve's part too, you know. So to let developers know that if you're putting games on PC, that it should have a DualShock or DualSense controller support, or an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X and S controller support, or the or even a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Wii U Pro controller. Because I remember when I was turning this on, I forgot what game was I playing. I was about to play something, and then I see Nintendo's controller, Xbox and PlayStation. They were asking me that it would show me that it supports it. So yeah, it's a good move, man. So yeah, that means it means that gamers are not limited in what they can use when playing games. That's what this means. You can use the keyboard and mouse. If you don't like that, you can use a PlayStation controller. You can use an Xbox controller, even a Nintendo controller, and just play the game. So it's a good move on Valve's part. That is good to hear. But again, you modders, yeah. Ever since Valve created that Steam Deck, you guys were like this, like the Sentinels, like, okay, really, we got something to say about that, and now you got Bethesda support. Yeah, you little Steam Deck fans are getting spoiled. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy with all these articles. Hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Dark Side. Go. Peace.